All right, we have some breaking news coming in. US President Donald Trump has just spoken with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, this phone call took place just moments ago, and they discussed the ongoing situation in West Asia, including the importance of keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. Now, this information was shared by US Ambassador to India, Sergio Gore. Breaking news. For more on this, we are joined by our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal. Siddhant, what was the nature of the phone call that took place between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump?
Well, this is the first conversation between the two leaders since the outbreak of the war on 28th of February. In fact, the second conversation this year. The first conversation was in the first week of February when we saw the trading arrangement being announced. But essentially, we know that this conversation was largely on the West Asia war. The U.S. ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, tweeted that the conversation was on the importance of keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. Yesterday, we saw the even External Affairs Minister and the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio holding conversations. But clearly, this is a war that has been having a major impact across the globe, and India is no different. In fact, we have seen the Prime Minister addressing the Parliament and clearly stating that one needs to be prepared for an impending challenge. There will be an all-party meeting that's going to take place tomorrow. And there are concerns that the energy sourcing is going to soon translate into price hike, and that, of course, is going to translate into higher food prices that pinches, of course, the common man. So for India, there is a big worry. Of course, the Indian Prime Minister clearly made it clear that the fundamentals of the Indian economy is strong. But for the American side, the Indian message will be clear that dialogue and diplomacy is the way forward, something that the Indian Prime Minister has told many Gulf leaders. The Iranian president, the Indian Prime Minister has spoken to several Gulf leaders from UAE to Saudi Arabia, and of course twice with the Iranian president. And message is clear that first dialogue and diplomacy is the way forward. And when it comes to Strait of Hormuz, the closure is not acceptable. The attacks on civilian vessels is not acceptable. In fact, India has lost 6 of its people in West Asia, almost of which 3 are seafarers. So for India, the big worry will be on the safety and security of the people. Number of Indian nationals, almost 1 crore Indian nationals see West Asia as their home, and for India, their security will be paramount. But clearly an important conversation that has taken place a short while ago. The details are awaited from the Prime Minister's office. Of course, the Prime Minister's office and the White House both are expected to issue respective statements on what transpired in this conversation. But a key conversation at a time when West Asia is completely in West Asia war situation.
Right. Thank you for those updates. We'll, of course, keep updated with what exactly took place, what transpired between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump.